All right, here we are. Do this thing again, huh? Um, I'm Chester Sheshnaf No Noehe out here on the Spiritual Ranch. I'm the off-grid oracle, and here we are. It's a beautiful day today. It's still got some clouds and stuff, whatever, but it's blustery. It's just things are changing. We got that springtime blowing out, summertime blowing in kind of vibe, and so a lot of change in the air. My ear's been going crazy, like the pressure I think has just been up and down or whatever, and my left ear it just won't pop, but a lot of ringing, my ear's been ringing, a lot of ringing in my ears. I was running chainsaw, I run chainsaw a lot, and could be that, but I don't know, I don't think so. But could be ascension, the symptoms of ascension, because that's definitely a heavy force that's on Earth right now. A lot of people are going through ascension. I think the people that have it in them, the people that have managed their descension properly in a way that they've learned their lessons, so they know what to expect next. Those of us who've been on that program, we're ascending, and then the ones that kind of set up in a real high spot, right, and they never really did get it out of the mud and shit, like they never really did have to crawl on their knees, they're never in that position where they were being prosecuted and all that stuff, and everything, falsely and stuff, because, yeah, I've been convicted of things that I've done, but I've also been convicted and prosecuted for a lot of things that I did not do. And those are the lessons that taught me the value in doing the right thing, because it's like I have done things that were not right, and that was in my descension process, as I went down, I would make choices that just kept that slope slippery and never gave me stable ground to stand on, and until I was so close to hitting bottom, or I mean, like some might even say, yeah, I mean, I've really hit bottomed out, maybe even some might say, but like, that's their opinion. They don't know what they're talking about, and so it's like sometimes, like even with gold, gold lies on the bedrock, all the way down to the very, very lowest spot that it could go. That's what it does. It's heavy, and so even if you hit rock bottom, you got to remember at rock bottom, that's where the gold's at, and so it's the people who want to sit and float with all the detritus, like the lightest stuff on the surface that floats in the water, that high and light stuff. It's just organic matter and all that shit. It's like your physical body, right? It doesn't have any density to it, and so it just floats off, or it floats up in a big pile somewhere, and then just gets eaten by all the microbes and everything, and it goes away. It gets reduced back to its original elements. It doesn't remain in structure. Gold, it remains in structure because it's so heavy, and so it's so heavy and it's so dense, and it's like it's got such a small atom so that nothing else could get in between it, and so it doesn't corrode and shit, and so it even though it sinks all the way down and it hits rock bottom, it's the thing that is of the most value right now on this planet, which really is kind of an interesting concept, because if you were to think about it, because we're trying to ascend, and so we're trying to not get stuck in this plane, on this earthly plane, like we're trying to understand the actual framework of the ethereal, like we're trying to our mission on Earth, in the avatar that we're in currently, in the spiritual energy that you're in currently, is to learn from the physical plane the physics, of how it all works. It's like, so we have these examples of like gold's an example of how it all works, of how the physics work, like how a star works, or whatever, and because like, since we are all stars, right, we're all celestial orbs, we really have to understand how that works, like we got to understand that shit, and so, because that makes us shine brighter in our light, which is ultimately the mission that God Most High has us set upon, and so that's the thing. It's like, and so gold gold can hit rock bottom, but it can't rise above rock bottom. It can't come out of rock bottom. It's stuck in rock bottom, you know? And so in a lot of ways, gold is kind of a stagnant energy. It's not something that we should worship, you know? Like we shouldn't worship the rock bottom, but we should worship the ascendant out of it, you know, and away from it. And so the worship of gold has caused a lot of grief in our cultures and our societies because we're no longer light in our spirit, but becoming dense in our spirit. And that traps us here on earth, you know? And so that's just food for thought, right? And that's kind of what we do around here. We talk a little bit shit. And then I pull out my, we do a little prayer. We burn some stuff, right? And then we check out what the coins got to say. Then we're going to throw some cards on that shit. We're going to see what they say. And maybe we'll get a message out of this, you know, and that's up to Most High. And so we just got to ask them and ask Spirit to the liaison between us and them and make this shit true to ourselves, you know. And that's where we all work together in this, you know. We manifest this shit together. Like, I need you like you need me, you know. It's like it's our energies. It's the things that we think about, you know, as a collective, as a whole. The things that we think about positively, or the things that we worry about negatively, are the things that are brought into our lives, right? That's how we manifest. And so, considering that we're a collective, a single spirit, as the chosen ones, you know, we're within divine union of the framework of God Most High, you know. And so it's like we're a part, each and every one of us. It's like you might just be like a fingernail or like a hair, you know, or whatever, you know, a single cell in the massive that is Most High. But that responsibility that you have as that aspect of Most High is just as important as the whole organism, you know. Spirit High, Spirit Most High, you know, we love you so much here in this place. We really appreciate the wisdom that you bring, you know, allowing us access to your most high spirits that you communicate to us through, you know. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to actually entertain the questions that we have, or to entertain us in this path that we're on, because you guide us, even though we are so far down the bottom here below you. You know, you always join us in that. You don't lead from above. You always lead us from below. You know, you carry us when we need you to carry us, and we appreciate the hell out of that spirit. We love you, God. We love you very, very much. You know. Please protect us. Please protect me from any of these other assholes out here that are on the streets, because there's lots of them, you know. And they do their work too, you know. They do their work good, and I know you love devil and all that shit, you know, but they don't make our life very fucking easy, man. And so please protect us, keep us safe from that energy, because we don't need none of that energy coming in here and ruin the program, you know. Please protect anybody listening to these messages and have them receive these messages straight, strong, and pure in their hearts, you know, with integrity. And Godspeed, you know. Keep us safe, please. Every time I sit down here at this damn table, it's like I fuel what I did put my damn lighter, and then I got my fuel out my pickup truck right now, so I'm gonna bother. I got another lighter right here. Anyways. Fire, right? Burn this whole motherfucker down. That's what I think, you know. I don't mean that in a violent way. I don't mean that in an aggressive way. I don't mean that in a shitty way. I don't even mean that in a literal way. I'm talking about internally, you know. I'm talking about fucking what we got to do inside to remove the fucking shit that causes us grief, man. The parasites and everything, you know, burn the fuck out. You know, if you got a lot of ticks in the grass, well, the best thing to do is you set the grass on fire, you know. And that's just what it is, right? And I think that's a practice that a lot of people nowadays, you know, they're trying to throw wands and shit like that, start fires in other houses and start fucking grief for other people and stuff. They ain't even trying to clean up their own house, man. They're sitting in a fucking goddamn tinderbox, right? They're out here just throwing wands around like it's fucking nobody's business. But everybody needs to fucking realize, like, you know, you start a fire that's too big, you can't put it out. That's you that gets burned up, you know? Like I say on here all the time, do your own brushwork. They call that 100-foot fucking security space or whatever, you know, safe space, right? Protective space. We all got to have that space around us right now from other individuals around us, because people are toxic right now, toxified radically through these demonic possessions and shit. They don't even realize it. You know, it's like the internet, you know, it's not a safe place. It really is not a safe place, especially for people who are feeble or weak and spiritually, because a lot of people don't even understand that spirit's real, like they don't listen to spirit in their heart. They think it's all a fucking joke, like some Harry Potter bullshit, some computer graphics, right? And it ain't computer graphics, man. Spirit's been around for all eternity. And so, but people are sitting here thinking on that shit like it's not real, like they doubt it, They have more belief than the Harry Potter or whatever, and they just want to sit and joke and talk like little shit. But man, they got spirits in their ears on these fucking phones and stuff, and this internet and this web and this matrix, that's what's sucking you in there. If it's available through the ethereals, if I communicate to you right now with no strings attached, that means anything can. And so people trust these devices and they want to blame AI. Well, AI is a ghost in the machine, but that's also driven by a spirit. Y'all got to think about that, man. It's kind of crazy shit right now what's going on. It's brainwashing, it's mind control, but it's by the masses, and the devil's fucking kicking ass with this shit right now. Spirit can reach to you through the internet, kind of, a guy like me. I can put my shit out here. I'll put it out here all fucking day long, Maybe if I put out 1 million videos, I'll catch the attention of 1,000 people. There's 144,000 that we're trying to catch the attention of, And a lot of you motherfuckers are just like me. You're fully aware that most of what you're listening to on there is riffraff. There's very little shit on there that's the truth, There's a lot of ego-based fucking mentality, greed. It's about commerce, and then there's the spiritual influence. If you think spirits can't fuck with you online, if you think spirits can't give you fuck up comments or like give you fucked up shit like on your Facebook or whatever shit, send you some fucking karmic ass fucking connection, through some fucked up website like that fucking Tinder or whatever, you're out of your fucking mind, And if you think that the controllers who have been stalking all of us, with astrologically speaking, so they know exactly what your spiritual orb is. They know what you are. They've got computer programs that could run every fucking one of us. They got a database of that shit. They know exactly who the fuck everybody is on this motherfucker, spiritually speaking. Energetic footprint. That's what they're fucking looking for, because they're vampires. They want to eat you and consume you, And so if you think that those motherfuckers can't use the internet to also play those same games like throw rocks and hide their hands, you're out of your mind. You're high, And I'm going to tell you straight up right now, they don't even really do it because they use spirits, Like they know how to conjure the spirits. They can communicate with spirit the same way that I do, And so they can send spirits here, send spirits there. They can have a whole spiritual network, like a call station or whatever, stuck away, tucked away somewhere in a graveyard where they got spirits sending out fucking fucked up shit, So if you want to post something positive, they come in, they comment negative on it or whatever, Or hide your shit, don't let nobody fucking see it, or get in the ears of other people so they fucking make fun of you, Just stupid shit like that. But everybody wants to believe, it's all people, so now everybody believes that all people are shit. But in reality, I think it might be just a handful of real shitty motherfuckers using some real shitty spirits in a real shitty environment, and everybody's feeding into it, and they're losing their goodness, and that's dangerous. Spirit says, hell yeah. The Spirit says that's deadly. There's what Spirit says. Spirit says Most High. It's like, oof. That's not good, man. Jesus might just come back here and stand alone when everybody else gets nailed to the cross if they ain't watching their asses. How'd that fucking be, How'd that be for prophecy, right? That'd be fucking shit. I think everybody'd be pretty disappointed in the long run. I think that'd be not the ultimate outcome. I think that would probably be not the ultimate outcome, right? Spirit. What are you talking about here, Dana? I'm gonna go be dogs, but then there we go. Everything divine time, that's what's supposed to do. Very beautiful, got that heart out here again today. Yeah, man. This one over here, it went way underneath the mushroom. What is that? Is that Fantasy in the Flesh coin, is it? No, it's not today. Isn't that nice? I think it's a toilet token, though. Yeah. Yep. Help keep our restroom clean. Restroom token. Yeah, restroom token today thinks they're gonna hide underneath that mushroom, right? These fucking restroom tokens, them ones. They're funny. See, the restroom token is funny because the restroom token is like not the Chuck E. Cheese motherfuckers. Them Chuck E. Cheese ass motherfuckers, they're evil, man. They're horrible. They're like It the Clown, right? But these restroom token motherfuckers over here, they're just them son of a bitches. Like I was saying, like them internet spirits, man. They're just nasty ass little bitches. Like they go into the toilet, right? So it's like they go down there, the public restroom or wherever, go to stop and get some fuel or something, you know. And then motherfuckers go in there and they fucking when they use the toilet or whatever, they don't lift the seat, right? They're the kind of like piece of shit motherfuckers that like just piss all over the seat or whatever, just because like they're just being dicks, right? They just think it's funny, you know. Somebody's gonna got some little bitch got cleaned up for them, or like whoever's next to the fucking toilet's got to deal with it. So they're like showing the world, right? And fucking but now they're trying to hide, you know, and that's because all the nasty shit that they do is like that. It's like they do nasty shit, you know. They throw rocks and hide their hands, you know. And so like they take a big shit in the toilet, throw toilet paper on the toilet floor, don't flush or whatever, you know. Just stupid, fucked up shit like that, right? And so these motherfuckers right now, they're trying to hide under the mushroom. They're like, whoa, fuck, man. They're in real deep shadow right now because they don't want to be exposed for the fact that they're the one who fucking shit all over the fucking toilet seat, you know, like, my homie, you know, his dad, he had a date, you know, his dad had a date one time, took this gal fishing, they went fly fishing out in Wyoming, or out in Montana, you know, and they stopped, you know, they're fishing at a spot and there's a porta john out there or whatever, you know, and so Jack, you know, the old guy, he fucking that take shit, you know, and so he tells the guys, I gotta use a porta john over there. So he goes over to use his porta john. He's doing his business, man. He says, goes wipe his ass, and he says, wipes his ass, and fucking goes throw toilet paper. He looks in his back of his hand. He says, there's a little piece of fucking shit on there, you know. He's like, well, what the hell is that, you know? And so he's like, fuck, man, wipes it up, you know. And so he says, he goes, take a second wipe. He goes, wipes his ass, so he pulls his hand out again, and there's even more shit. He says, whole backside of his hand is covered in shit, right? He's like, man, what the fuck? You know, he knew damn good well what was coming out of him at that point. So he gets up and he looks down. Some restroom token piece of shit motherfucker over here thought they were smart, thought they were wise, thought they were cute, and fucking had taken a big shit right underneath the fucking the seat, you know? And so, like, they took a shit, they put the seat down, and they put the lid down on it, you know? And so he couldn't see that the shit was there, but then when Jack sat on it, squeezed it out, and so when he tried to wipe his ass, he's getting shit all over his back of his hand, you know? He was on date with this fly gal, you know? He wants to go on, he's on date, like they're out there fishing and shit. And so the rest of the date, he said he just reeked like fucking shit, and he said he never got another date with that gal, you know? And like, that's what them restroom token motherfuckers doing out here, you know? Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like these spirits and shit on the internet and stuff. You don't even know that it's a person that's giving you them shit, that shit underneath that toilet seat, so it ruins your date, you know? It's like, that's the problem with the internet. Jack at least knows that it was some fucking jackass motherfucker, you know, that did that. And if, like, if he would have been second in line and that motherfucker would have walked out, after doing that, and then he was down there on the river fishing, and Jack experienced that, had that experience. I know damn good well Jack, he's black belt, man. He'd go down and whoop the shit out of that motherfucker, you know. And that's how we gotta start looking at this stuff, you know. Think about it. Like that toilet token fucking energy right there. They need to help us keep that restroom fucking clean, man. They can't keep shitting on our fucking destinies, shitting on our fucking journeys, shitting on our fucking missions, ruining our fucking good times and stuff, ruining our fucking loves, ruining our relationships, ruining every fucking thing we have, just because they think it's fucking cute to do some nasty shit like that, and they don't even fucking, what do they gain from it, you know? And it's just stupid stuff, right? And so we all got our hearts out here, you know, because see, this heart, it didn't fly underneath that mushroom there with that toilet token, but it's still out here in the shadows a little bit, because I think that we're all feeling a little jaded, man, because we got toilet tokens that are running the world these days, you know? They're fucking stupid, man. You know? And that's like, That's the, here's the earth, but that's that earth energy with the mushrooms and the rocks and all the minerals and everything. That's what's going down on the earth, but they're trying to hide in those dark places, in those shadows, in that shadow energy, in that shadow spirit, where they get off on that shit. It's like a hungry ghost energy, And so they're not fucking ascending. They're not stepping into that ascension, and that's holding us all back in the shadow a little bit, and that's breaking our hearts. We want to ascend. Like, all of us want to ascend. We're trying to ascend. And that's the mission here, and that's what God's asking us to do. Because see, over here by where the fire is at, where I burn my shit, right? Where that's the sunshine, right? Because this is the moon right here, And so the sunshine, we got this buffalo out here. And that's the divine energy. That's the divine masculine energy. But that's the divine masculine energy that's in their head. But they're feeling real bullish, They're like, fuck, man. They're feeling a little small compared to that big old karmic energy that came out in that last read I did with that big brass copper coin, with that karmic fucking ancestral energy. This is the healer, is what this is. This is the small one. This is David, King David, This is the one that was put out in the barn with the sheep when God came to find him, And everybody says, we don't know where that bum is. That motherfucker, he's worthless. And God said, bullshit, that motherfucker right there is chosen. Fucking chosen, man. White buffalo, And so that's why that motherfucker is sitting down here in the sun, because it's now time for that one right there to change everything that's been going on karmically, ancestrally for all of us. This world's getting ready to fucking change. And that's what's coming into the sun, man, And so what's standing between the earth angel energy and earth, and so that message could spread all over the damn planet. Just that play value. Yeah, see again, man. It's these Chuck E. Cheese ass motherfuckers, dude. No, this is the showbiz pizza place motherfuckers. Homies, cousins with Chuck E. Cheese ass motherfuckers, I fucking hate these motherfuckers, man. I really do. God, God has hatred in their heart and wrath too, And so that's something that we experience as well. We're made in the image of God, And so it's righteous to have anger. There's righteous anger. There is. And there's righteous causes to have anger, And to be standing in that. Freedom is earned by the blood of tyrants. That's how it's paid for, man. And that's the truth. And free men alike, And that is the truth, But I'm not saying that anybody should do it. I mean, this shit now, it's not even like that, We can't go fucking just killing people and make this problem go away. That's not gonna fucking happen, It's not gonna work. The war is in our hearts, The battlefield is in our hearts, and it's in our souls. And if we just kill a wicked motherfucker, that motherfucker just manifests back even more fucking wicked, because that's what's going on, And like they're all about it, And so their ascension, they're trying to ascend out of the pits of fucking hell to keep doing this fucking bullshit to everybody. All they care about is fucking money and fucking whatever fucking little fucking thrill they get in their loins, man. Like they want whatever little fucking electric impulse their body fucking tells them to do. That's just like stupid fucking impulsive shit, and they're gonna fucking do it, And then they all fucking feed on each other like fucking vampires. They try to feed off of us, They do feed on all of you. Fuck them. They don't get a bite on me. But like, everybody needs to wake the fuck up and realize that that's exactly what's going on. They've made a business out of it. They've made profit. What they do is identify in each other the high profit fucking sickness that they get off on, and then they fucking peddle that shit to each other, man. And they're fucking sitting there fighting little gang wars over who gets the fucking peddling the most wicked fucking devilish fucking disgusting shit possible. While we're all out here fucking just fucking trying to live, man. Barely fucking making it. Not even able to take care of our own asses, losing every fucking ability, every strength, every intelligence, every aspect about us that gives us strength to fucking survive past this shit. They're taking away from us so that they can just sit and peddle in wickedness, man. And that's the fucking truth. Motherfucking truth, And I'm glad I got the fucking goddamn camera going, because I'm hitting on it right now. These coins are talking, man. And then fuck everybody, Seriously. Them fucking motherfuckers, man. Telling you, dude. Like, I'm fucking sick of fucking seeing them, I really am. And they attack any fucking thing that comes around me, comes near me, I'm supposed to go to the town near Reading here this afternoon, and look at a dog, right? Of course, the person that has dogs, they gotta come down and fucking some fucking bug or something, man. Because they're getting attacked because these fucking pricks right here, they're doing this shit so fucking long that they're up in our energy footprints and they know how to fucking block us, man. They know how to fucking stop us from fucking having the things in our lives that bring us fucking joy, you know? And if you're an individual who's resonating with what the fuck I'm talking about right now, you know damn good and well it's true, and you're all by yourself. You feel you don't feel outnumbered because you know you're not outnumbered. You know damn good and fucking well you're not outnumbered because you're in the pocket of God Most High. But you're in that pocket alone, and that's a big space, man. It should be filled up with a lot of motherfuckers, but it ain't, you know? Which that's fine. I like expansive space. So spirit, you know? And it's not meant to be crowded, you know? Really. So, but these motherfuckers right here are not this token. And them Chuck E. Cheese ass motherfuckers token, these ones right here, they only fucking give you access, grant you access through the gates of hell, man. And so fuck you, you know. If that's the coin, if that's the token you got in your pocket, if that's the pinnacle you stand on, well, you're gonna find out, man. You're gonna find out, man. You ain't gonna like that shit. I got a free ride with that shit. I didn't even have to have token, man. I've been through hell and back. You know, and these motherfuckers right here, they're so fucking desperate to have that experience that they gotta bring that experience to life here on Earth for everybody else so they can fucking bear witness to it because they're fucking stupid. You know? But they ain't been through it themselves. They think it's entertainment. They think it's something you watch on TV. Well, when they gotta go through it themselves, they're gonna fucking squawk, I promise you. Just like a fucking mouse with both feet caught in the trap and can't get out, you know? And that right there is going to be a tune that I'm going to cherish, you know? That I'm going to sing it just to remember it throughout the fucking echoes of time, man. And that's the fucking truth, you know? I got to grab my deck of cards here. All eternity, that tune will echo throughout time, you know, and so that nobody forgets it, because we don't want nobody to ever forget the sound of those whales, because we don't ever want that shit to come back to earth, you know. We don't ever want God to have to be in that position, to have to punish like that, and have to fucking show individuals the truth so harshly, because that's a horrible thing to do to God Most High, man. You know, they give us every opportunity throughout life to get this shit correct, and they give you multiple lifetimes within which you could do that in. And if you don't do that, that's on you, you know. And you're just being a real dick. You're guilty. And I'm not talking to we us. I'm not talking about we the people. I'm not talking about the collective. I'm not talking about God's chosen ones. I'm talking about the motherfuckers that have the opportunity to do that because God's so patient, and then they don't, and then they just embarrass themselves in front of God. That's a shame, man. You know, God has you as a mirror reflection so that they can see themselves, and they can see themselves thriving, and they can see themselves functioning within the environment that they created. That's what they want to see. That's why God's a teacher, you know? See? God wants to watch the fields that they put you in. They want to sit there and they want to tend it with that leaning against the hoe that they use to plant them fields, and see them 10 of coins coming in like that, you know? They want to see you prosper. They want to see you strong and everything. They don't want to see us all suffer. They're tired of the lies, man. You know? And they're tired of lies. And that card right there, you know, I didn't shuffle a whole lot, but I'm gonna fucking take it. You know, God says take it, right? Doc, you know, Doc's an invasive. Doc's one of them, man. Doc's good ones. It's medicine. It's medicine, right? But it could also be one of those that in your garden, it can cause a lot of grief because it can be hard to remove, you know? It's, with Doc, it's not so much about what you see above, it's about what's below, you know? And that could be what this card's talking about right here. And that could be why these toilet token motherfuckers over here are hiding so far underneath that mushroom, you know? Because with Docs make big yellow, a big green top, real beautiful, you know? But the greens are kind of bitter. It's not like you can really eat them, you know? They can, and it's good, but it's good for you, you know? But then they make, a stalk with flowers on it and everything, right? But what Doc has is a big root underneath the ground, you know. And so with Doc, you can cut Doc down 1,000 times, but it's gonna keep coming back because of that root, you know. And so what's hidden in the shadow won't go away, because like you don't want those tops. If you're trying to grow a garden, you got a bunch of Doc roots in your garden. The Doc tops, they grow really aggressively because they have that really deep established root, right? And so the shadow of the Doc gives the tops of the Doc a lot of abundance. So it's like they seem really abundant, but they're bitter on the top. And so what happens is like you have to dig that root all the way up out of your garden, all those roots out of your garden, or else you're only going to have big, healthy Doc greens, you know, because they'll outgrow everything in your garden. And so it's like you got to watch out for your shadow. You can't hide in your shadow, because that's what's going on right now with these toilet token motherfuckers, is they're too deep in that shadow. They need to start digging up them roots so they can get out from underneath that mushroom, man. And all of our hearts are at stake, you know. That's the thing. That's why our hearts are all right there on the line, you know, waiting for these motherfuckers saying, hey, you shit underneath that fucking seat, and if you don't go clean up your mess, Jack's gonna fucking whoop your ass, and he's a black belt, you know? And the people who are fucking being shitty like that, they need to start being held accountable, you know? They need to know, like, yeah, I'm kind of a shitty person. Instead of everybody being embarrassed to like hold them accountable, they need to be held accountable and embarrassed for their actions. And we live in a world that's operating in a different, in the reverse of that, you know? Because it's like people let people get away with stupid shitty stuff like that because it's like shitty stuff. And I don't even know why, you know? And then even if you call a motherfucker out, there's not enough motherfuckers out here like, no, man, we're going to hang you if you do that again. You know? If there was more like that, we would have a different kind of quality people around us, you know? Guys like Jack could go on a date where they're just trying to go fly fishing with a nice lady, and they don't have to get shit all over their fucking hands and look stupid, right? Right, look the fool, you know? Why is this hard here, Spirit? Why is this hard here with the Doc, you know? Why every motherfucker just wants to sit in their Doc root? I mean, Doc root's great. You gotta dig Doc root up, though. You know, you gotta dry it, you gotta make tea, and then it's good for your liver. It's cleansing, right? Doc is cleansing. It's good for your liver. It's you gotta decoct it, you know? So you dig it up and you dry the roots, and then you chop them up. You gotta drop them up when they're wet still, you know, because they get real hard when you dry them. But you just chop them up in little pieces and dry them, and then you gotta steep that. You gotta put that stuff in water and you gotta boil it. It's a root, you know, so you gotta decoct it. And so you simmer it, you know. It's like you just let it sit there, just simmer, give it a good 2-3 day simmer. Just keep adding water to your pot, and then that makes you a decoction that is very healing, very healthy, very 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 good for your liver, for your renal system, for your kidneys, your liver, and all that, you know. And so it helps your body to remove toxins, you know. And so when you do that shadow work, when you go deep inside your shadow and deep inside the root of what's causing you the grief in your life and everything, that's how we heal the lies, you know, because that Doc's coming out with the 7 of Swords, right? And so that's how we heal them lies that we've been telling ourselves. And then we know that we can remove the things from our garden that are causing us fucking grief, you know? We can take the roots of the thing that are causing us grief. So it's like the greens of the Doc are like the ego of the individual, right? And so they're real showy and everything and all that, but it's not really what you only want in your garden, you know? Your garden's got to have a diversity, you know? Everything in the world thrives on diversity, right? And so the tops are a little bit of a lie, you know? Except for the fact that if you dig deep into the shadow, where the shadow is actually the problem that's causing the ego to be ever expansive, like the greens, like the tops of the Doc, you know? And so if you dig up the shadow and you do that shadow work, that root work, then you decoct that shit into a healing medicine that removes that toxicity from you and removes the overwhelming or the over-dominating fucking elements that are in your garden that are causing your abundance to be less, you know? And so Docs, you know, like, it's like, the 7 of Swords is like coming out like more like that. It's like it's about digging deep to find the swords that you have inside yourself. You know, it's like that Doc. It's like like I said, you know, it's like you have the things that you're afraid of in your shadow are the secrets that you need to reveal to yourself to ascend. You know, and that's why the toilet tokens over here are still just kind of doing shitty shit because they ain't trusting themselves. And that's got everybody's heart online. You know, Spirit, why is this heart here? With the 7, with the Dog. Yes, Spirit, how you doing? You work on that. I know you do your work. Yeah, you do your work good. You know what the fuck you're doing, man. I know. I really appreciate you. Okay, so we got purse lane, but it's in the reverse, right? Purse lane in the reverse, yeah, see, and that's 2 coin. And so the purse lane's a succulent, right? And purse lane it's a little succulent. It's like you can use it in lettuce and stuff like that. It's kind of cool. It's real slippery when you eat it. You know, it's like it's mucilaginous, I think, whatever they call it, right? But it's 2 coins, right? And so the 2 coins, it's like that's a card of like well, it could be yin and yang. It could be the choices. It's a, 2s are always choices. Like you're facing a crossroads or whatever. But with the pentacles, pentacles generally refer to coin, But like coin is just simply a material manifestation. It's a material like coin is like the material, and so because like coin today represents the things that we have materially, because you got to have coin to have the things that we have. It's what everybody believes. That's the lie that we're being told, right? And so, but if we were to take money out of the equation, so like the pinnacle doesn't necessarily have to mean money, it means the things that bring you stability. And so it's like the things that are earthly that bring you stability. It's the environment that's around you, and that's what it is, which is like a lot of things. The environment around us is made out of a lot of things. But with this upheaval going on, because see, like right now, there's so many restroom token egos out here in the garden flaunting their greens, that the collective with the pure hearts, because our hearts are out here, they're not really underneath the mushroom in the shadow, because they're kind of pure, but they're feeling like they're getting drugged down towards that pit that those toilet token individuals are in. We don't want to be like that. We're not shitty like that, But this thing's coming out in the reverse, because we feel that the stability, not only in our hearts, but it's all the things that we love, are compromised when people behave that way, And so, like Jack had interest in that woman, that lady that he was out with, And then because of some other motherfuckers shitty ass behavior that he doesn't even freaking know, he got like kind of shit on, And so that individual that he can't see, so like the root of that individual was shitty, It was like Doc or whatever. It was like it just wasn't welcome in his garden, But the greens of that fruit, the ego of that individual, they shat underneath that seed. And then they fucked up Jack's vision, They fucked up Jack's ability to even make a choice. They took his choice away from him because that person was like, oh, God, he stinks like shit. I don't want to be around him. But that wasn't Jack who stuck like shit, Jack's prosperous. It wasn't him that did that, That was done to him. But it was done by something he can't even see. He can't even identify. He can't even put his fingers on it to even like be like, damn, that really hurt my emotion. That hurt my stability. That knocked me off my rocker a little bit, And kind of took away something that I wanted here. It's like this individual that's stuck in that dark energy or whatever was juggling my fucking shit, juggling my coin, right? In a sense, juggling my the things that I value, And it cost me, one of my coins, I dropped it, And so that's why it's in the reverse. And so that's where the collective is, in our heart space right now, is that we're feeling that, oh man, like, yeah. We're not doing the wrong thing, but we're having the wrong thing happen to us, and then that's resulting in more wrong things happening to us, And it's like that's because it's like we're in a whole world filled of motherfuckers that want shit underneath that toilet seat like that, But our energy is that earth angel energy over there, and that's that masculine energy. It's in the bowl, And so it's like we're feeling like we're kind of going extinct, What you gotta say about that, Spirit? How you feel about it? Spirit, Spirit says too, Spirit says that they feel like they're kind of going extinct too, because they keep knocking on everybody's door, but fucking nobody's home, Because they don't know if it's us or if they're invisible, Like the buffalo is a Spirit. You're not invisible to me, Spirit. My door's always open for you, Got raspberry, the raspberry in the reverse. That's the eight of wands, right? But it's in the reverse. And so again, the buffaloes are feeling like they're gone extinct. You know, they used to be something that was a big deal. You know, we used to be the action card because in the upright position, that's what this is. This is the action card, right? But like this is the raspberry, you know, and a raspberry is like in between the wild strawberry and the blackberry because like the raspberry has thorns on it and everything, you know, they do, but they grow a little different. They got a little bit of a different growing pattern than like the blackberry, especially like the wild Himalayan blackberries, you know, stuff. Because like the little wild blackberry we have out here, it's not as aggressive as the wild Himalayan blackberry, but it'll make a thicket that is actually the little thorns off them will fuck you up. Tell you the truth. The raspberry's kind of like that. The thorns on the raspberry will fuck you up, but it makes like a spray. It makes cane that comes out and it sprays out like this, you know, and then it makes cane the one year, then it dies, and that stuff kind of falls down, and then it makes another cane next year. So it always kind of keeps like a little floret, you know. And so it's not a big tangled, crazy tangled mess like the blackberries are, you know. And so the raspberry is like, I find that the raspberry has a lot more of a gentle energy, you know. Like they're not trying to be aggressive, you know. Like the raspberry is, and they don't take over. Like they grow in little clumps here, little clumps there. It's like almost one or two plants over there. They don't try to take over, you know. And they're trying to do good for everything that's around them because raspberry leaves are very healing. You know, they're good for the urinary tract and stuff like that. You know, they're astringent, and so they treat your your urinary systems. You know, like your bladder and your kidneys again, all that stuff. You know, it's very cleansing and it's astringent, so it changes the pH, you know, of your system, and it makes you your shit heal. You know, and so, but it's also very nutritive. It's got a lot of nutrients in it, and then it also bears a delicious fruit. You know, delicious red fruit. But it's easier to pick the raspberry than it is to pick the blackberries. You know, the blackberries because they could be abundant, but they could be a bear to get into the middle of because they make a huge, massive thicket. You can only pick off the edges of it. But with a raspberry, you can kind of walk right up to a raspberry bush and they never get that big, so you can pick every single fruit off raspberry real easy and never even get those thorns. They're easier to avoid. It's hard to pick 10 fruit off a blackberry and not get the thorns, you know. So the buffalo's feeling over here, you know, our energies, us earth angels, we're feeling like a little bit kind of like we were so powerful, you know, like we are so fucking much action oriented, so powerful, so big on this planet that people waited on us, you know, that the buffalo, like the buffalo, he says like the native peoples that lived off of those herds, the buffalo was everything for them. Without the buffalo, there was no action. It's like just like the salmon out here, you know, without the salmon, there was no action. They say, well, when the salmon quit coming back, so when the salmon quit returning, you know, and so that eight of wands, right? That's an action card. Well, when the salmon quit coming back, right? They quit returning. The buffalo quits returning here. Well, that's the doomsday. That's the end day. That's the end times, you know. But we're showing ourselves in the reverse of that because we are trying to recover, you know, like right now. We've been on the mend, you know, like we've been trying to. We haven't been in a position to take that action, to take that eight of wands action back at what has been causing us to grief, you know, because they've been really outnumbering us. But that's why we're all being called right now. You know, our hearts are hearing these messages and we know that we are the white buffalo, you know, we're the ones that are going to save the world. So even though like our numbers are low and everything, you know, it's like, and we might be few and far between, the day's coming when we'll reform back into that mighty herd that the people chased, you know, that the people listened to, that the people had to have, because that was their most strongest connection to the God Most High, because without it they would die, you know. And then out here blocking that energy, you know, that energy I just spoke of, which is very righteous, are these toilet choking bitches, man. Like over here, you know, it's like in our heart space, we're kind of like feeling a little bit like shit's been so crazy with the lies and all that bullshit with the docks. Like there's so much dock in our garden that we can't see clearly through it so that we all see each other. So it's like we're all like cucumbers or tomatoes or squash or whatever. And I'm trying to look at the other cucumber and be like, hey man, what the fuck up? You know, we got to pollinate each other and shit like that if we want to bear fruit, you know? And so it's like, I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? You know, but we got to be close enough to each other, kind of like that spiritually and stuff. to pollinate, or else we're not going to bear them spiritual fruits that Most High is trying to get out of us, so that we can reestablish ourselves as a strong fruit, the good bearing fruit in the garden, instead of the dock or whatever that's going to dominate because they have such deeply rooted shadow, you know. And so, like with the cucumber or whatever, they got a shallow root, you know, they're tender roots or whatever, you know. They're like them ones that are ascended. They're not too far away from like saying, fuck it all, man. We'll just fucking go up there and hang out with God Most High. We're light now. We're not like gold. We're not going to seek rock bottom. We don't give a fuck, you know. We're not digging for gold like Doc. We don't give a fuck. We're not trying to hide nothing here, you know. We're tender in our roots because we're not super connected to earth, you know. And so we're easily going to cut those ties. We want to bear what's God's fruit, best fruit in our season. And then kick rocks on this one and come back with something different. Maybe try to be Hubbard squash, you know. What do you think about that, Spirit? Be anything except for these fucking toilet token motherfuckers, man. I don't even want to read on Spirit, but they're here, you know. And so, what the fuck, man? Let's talk about them. I don't fucking like them motherfuckers, man. See? They keep trying to come out in this fucking bullshit energy right here. It's like every time, you know, it's like anytime that anybody's associated with these bastards or like these bastards, right? And they always kind of like this in this space where no truth exists, you know. They're not either in their intuition, and that they sure as fuck ain't willing to come out here and put themselves wide out on earth and like in the open like we are, you know. And so they come out in this wild strawberry energy, right? And it's wild strawberry in the upright right here, right down. But like, and that's the heartberries, right? You know, shooting you in your fucking heartberry, man, motherfuckers. You don't even want to know what heartberry is on their fucking pizzas, right? Fucking sick ass, twisted, demonic pizzas they sell at this fucking joint, man. They're fucking pieces of shit. And what they want is that young spring fruit, you know. They want to pretend like they are that young spring fruit, that strawberry, that easily plucked fruit is what they are, you know. That's what they want. And they're sick fucks, you know. And they don't care. They just want they want the early fruit of every season, kind of like they just want to fuck us out of everything, you know. And they love to watch you. They love to pick your fruit and trample on your vines, because that thing strawberries, it can't protect itself at all. And so they want you to feel like a fucking little weak strawberry that they're gonna pluck you off that vine and do whatever the fuck they want with you, man. Sell your ass up street, you know. I fucking hate them motherfuckers, man. I do. I hate them because they tarnish the strawberries like that. The wild strawberry is a beautiful thing, man. And these motherfuckers get their hands on them wild strawberries and they just trample them into the fucking earth, man. They don't even give a fuck, you know. They like the way their blood smells, you know. And I fucking hate them, man. I fucking hate them, you know. I know God says not to hate or whatever, you know. But like, there's things that God hates too, you know. And so I think baby man tries to tell us don't hate, makes us try to fucking feel guilty, because when we feel guilty, we live in fear of God, you know. And we should never feel guilty about anything when we have God Most High in our heart as righteous individuals that we are, as chosen ones, because we know when we do right and we know when we do wrong. And we have free will and we practice that shit fiercely, you know. And we make sure we make the right choices, you know. And so it's like, you don't gotta worry about what's in your fucking closet when you make sure every fucking day you get in there, you sweep that motherfucker, you mop them motherfucking floors, and you don't got a lot of shit hanging in there where anything can hide. You're resourceful, right? It's my favorite fucking word. My favorite fucking word, man. And it makes sense. Y'all think about it. Why would that be a good word? Because what I just said makes sense, and it's resourceful. So fuck, man. God's pretty fucking resourceful, you know. We're made in the image of. God created something out of nothing. God created everything out of nothing. This was nothing. Dark, void, vacuum, nothing, abyss, you know. And like all of a sudden God says, yeah, I think I'm going to fucking do something today. I'm going to get out of bed. God woke up and said, bang! And all of this came out of it, you know. Out of nothing. Just a thought, you know. That's fucking resourceful, man. Imagine. Just imagine. Just imagine, you know. And you were there for that show, but you forgot, and that's what we're trying to wake up in everybody, you know? There isn't a whole lot of it. Big Bang starts out small and it gets big, you know? And so the ones of us that were there in the very beginning, there's a handful of us, you know? And God loves us because we know the whole story. We know the whole fucking story, you know? The whole story. Because we've been told the whole story, and we've known the whole story the whole time. We took the risk. We took the risk, you know, in the garden there. And we took that risk, and God's wise. God knew at the time, you know, that was what we were going to do, because that's what God wanted to do themselves. But God couldn't separate themselves from creation the way that we did, you know. Like, God couldn't see creation from the outside because God is creation. And so that's why God created us and then put us outside them gates, because they knew we were going to make that choice, you know. And that's what it's about, right? For sure. but it's gone down a slippery slope, you know. I mean, these motherfuckers right here, it didn't take them long until they started to get dirty, you know. They started doing crazy shit. I mean, look at these two right here, right? Those two, their kids. Fuck, one of their kids killed the other kid, man. It was a Cain and Abel, right? You know. So it's like it was right away, you know. It was like right away. It was immediately, and that was all out jealousy and all this stupid shit. Like he was jealous because the one brother thought that God loved them more, but the other brother just wasn't realizing that he wasn't loving himself enough to listen to God, you know. And so he lost his way and killed his brother, and then that through that bloodline, we've repopulated this world, and so it's no surprise that that's kind of the issues that we all face today, you know. And of course, that's a real like, you know, man, that's the bubblegum version. That's what we're fucking told. We don't know what the truth is all the way. That story was handed down from man to man, or from woman to man, from whatever, mouth to mouth. We'll say mouth to mouth, right? Spirit to spirit, or whatever. That shit was handed down physically here on the tongue through people, and they wrote it down and everything, but then they wrote down the version that they want to be told, and that's the same old regurgitated story that they tell. There's no way to correct that shit anymore because they stopped it from being vocal, verbal, you know, and held within and kept true by the tribe, and they made it on paper to where it could be manipulated by man, and that's the problem that we have, you know. Right? And that's who these motherfuckers are, man. They're the fucking government officials. There's a fucking Pharisees. It's the Pharaoh. It's the fucking Caesar. It's all of them motherfuckers, you know. The rabbi, you know. The fucking whatever the motherfuckers, you know, over there in Islam. I'm not sure what they call them, but the you know, their preacher, their guy, their high priest of their cult, you know, because it's all just a cult, right? It's a black box. You know, and they're just out here, get your wild strawberries, man. Good. This dock plant, dock, you know. I hate digging dock out in my garden, but I know how to make it into something good, you know. And so it's like, how do we teach that? How do we teach that these energies here that underneath that mushroom that want to take the shit underneath that motherfucking toilet seat and fuck over our homies like Jack, rest in peace, Jack, R.I.P. Man, he's up there as the most high right now, divine talking to me. I bet I should call my homie Gabe up. I should call him up and say, hey, bro. Dad says hi, he loves you, man. Gabe, Dad says hi, he loves you. Jack loves the fuck out of you, you know that, brother. You know, Spirit says that for sure, whatever you're thinking, man. Yeah, Jack's a good man, you know. God didn't put no judgment on Jack's head. He's up there right now. He's an angel, you know. And so this judgment card in the reverse here is coming out like that in reverse on this Doc, because again, like with Doc, you know, you can't judge Doc as being good or evil, you know, and it's like the toilet seat motherfucker, you know. If we could teach them how to clean the restroom, then their story is going to change, and that's like, that's a big lesson to all of us, right? And that's the karmic wheel, man, and that's the karmic wheel, you know, sitting up there, right? And that's the lesson, right? Is that once we've learned our lessons, because honestly, you know, the only reason we can identify somebody as being that fucking piece, that token individual, is because like through recognizing the times in our existences and the transits that we've been through, that we've also been that individual, because we have to climb all mountains to get to the top. I mean, that's just what it is, you know. Like you gotta. Like I talk on here a lot about divine masculine and divine feminine, and that's the masculine and the feminine on earth, but we also have to master the yin and the yang, which is the light and the dark forces, you know. And so to be a true master, you know how to roll on the dark side, right? But you've just chosen to work for the light, you know, like you've allowed the light to choose you because you've always known that the light is what the most powerful source is, you know. The light will always overpower the dark, you know. And so whenever the light shows up, the dark has to retreat because light is more powerful than dark. That's what it is. The universe is built off of the speed of light. That's what the Big Bang was, you know. And so light is the most it's the leading force, you know. And so as long as there's light, then everybody can see, you know. And so the thing is that we're here not to pass judgment, but to give illumination, you know. We're here that because like our heart spaces are being kept over here kind of close to that energy hiding underneath the mushroom because yeah, we're earthlings, we're earth angels over here, you know, but we're in the sun of the earth experience, we're in the light. And so when we travel forth on our planet on earth here in our familiar physical territory, we move traverse in this with light. And so when we bring our light to dark places, that illuminates the darkness for the individuals that are struggling, you know. And so like it's no excuse for a motherfucker because like you can stumble around in the dark, you know, and you can feel a couple two hands and you should be able to know that you're shitting down the toilet hole, and you should be able to know what seat is up and what seat is down and everything. And so that person could say, oh, it was dark, I didn't see what I was doing, and so it was an accident. And we could maybe be like, okay, well, we'll forgive it on that grounds, even though we know in the light that that's not the absolute truth, you know. And so we're not going to judge the individual as long as they're going to like not do it again, you know. And that's how they come from out from underneath that mushroom, you know. And so we could be fair like that because I mean, you know, I don't know. You're still gonna want to whoop some ass a little bit, you know. Make them get in there and clean that fucking mess up, hold them accountable. That's what that is there in the reverse, you know. This in the reverse is saying, yeah, they're fucking lying to you. Yeah, they're fucking out there, doc. Yeah, they're all that bullshit. Don't judge them, but teach them how to dig up their own shadow and make a healing decoction out of it. You know, teach them how to make something out of the wounds that they have or the hidden secrets that they have, the buried shadow that is causing them to kind of let things in their garden outshine that don't bear the most abundant fruits, right? And so we don't have to judge them. We can forgive them, even though we do feel that it's a bit of a lie, but we know it's not a lie because they're only being deceptive to themselves. We could take the energies that they're working with, and we could teach them how to alchemize those energies into a very powerful and abundant garden space, you know, and that's what we're trying to do. But we're on a crossroads in that just a little bit because we're feeling that like, wow, man, all these motherfuckers that we're trying to get to the door here are resisting us so heavily, and they're making a scene, you know? And so it's like, that's why we got our hearts on the line, and we're not very sure that the actions that we're trying to take are being effective, you know? But we're feeling a little bit outnumbered too. Or, you know, it's like we're feeling like our energies are getting to the point where it's like, damn, it's a little bit overwhelming, you know? But we're doing a good job. And the reason that we feel that way is because there's only 144,000 of us, you know? And so, like, you got to think about that. There's a lot of doc out here, you know? And so you know, you just keep telling yourself when you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror, you say, nah, man, I'm God's cucumber plant or I'm God's tomato plant or I'm God's this. And just keep doing that because we all got to do that together so that we can continue to pollinate the creation that God has created and pollinate it accurately so that we can eliminate the weeds that are causing grief, you know? Because it's not just doc, you know? And like doc, it's like one of those things. A little bit of doc in your garden's not bad, you know? You might even fucking select some seed off your wild doc populations, the ones that got really big roots and shit, and make your own little doc population in this little spot in your garden or wherever, but manage it. Don't let go of seeds, just like that mustard seed, you know? Mustard's good, yeah, it's great. It pushes parasites out of your body. You know, mustard's one of them. It's high in fiber. It's got all kinds of good stuff in it, you know. But it's anti-parasitic, you know. It's a mustard. It's hot, you know. It's a mustard green. And you can use it as yummy in soups, and it's like heats you up, you know. It's a real hot one. So in the wintertime and shit, goes powerfully through the winter. You know, there's a lot of excellent mustard greens that the Asians grow. Asians are all about it, you know. They use them all kinds of different recipes. But again, if you just let the mustard go seed and you don't change your fields, all you're going to have is fucking mustard. But mustard's a lot easier to get rid of than doc, you know. Mustard, you just go through there and cultivate it with a hoe or something, chop it up, and then it'll fucking be green manure. It'll be really good for your field. With doc, if you go through and you chop doc up, but you don't remove them roots, you cut them roots up into little pieces, and each one of those little pieces turns into another doc root, you know, and that's how spirit is, you know. So out of each one of those, you go chop up, or that's how shadow is, you know, shadow, spirit's in the shadows, you know. It's like you could chop your shadow up and think you're doing it, getting rid of it, but you're just spreading the problem out, you know. And that's why it's smart and wise to not be in that wild strawberry energy. You got to be careful that your fruit's not easily plucked. then you spread yourself too thin. And that's not good, you know. And so like that's kind of the position where we are in our buffalo energy over here. So we're feeling like we're getting extinct, man, and we need to fucking do something about that. But we ain't too sure exactly what to do right now. We don't know if we can outgrow. We know we could outgrow the wild strawberry, but but um but our fruit's still easily picked, you know. And so whoever's picking that wild strawberry fruit, they can pick our fruit too, and they have been. So underneath that, two coins with the heart space over there, right? And that's that two that there's instability, see. But this one here is the 2 of cups, so it's like it's coming out in the upright position, right here with the dock and the purslane with the 2 of pentacles in the reverse, right? With that heart, with our heart space. And so the spiritual energies right now, the individuals out here that are operating under the spirit that's in the toilet token energy, hiding underneath there with that dock card, they again, you know, it's like these could be people even that we love, you know, and so we definitely don't want to pass judgment on them. We're not trying to pass judgment on them. We're trying to teach them the alchemy of it, yeah. And so we're really trying to show them, like, look, you know, we're even giving them examples. Like we got our heart out there on our sleeves, you know, and we're giving them examples. We're like, look, man, it's like I give a little bit to you, and you all give a little bit to us, and like, you know, and then maybe we'll clean the bathroom together, right? And so, and that's why our heart's out here with these individuals, but we're not hiding in the darkness with them. We want to come out of that vibe, you know. We want to be out here in the sun in our earth angel energy. And we want to flip that over so that's in that earth angel masculine energy, because this is the chief, you know, on the other side. And the chief knows how to manage the buffaloes, right? And so that the buffalo would never run out. And so the buffalo are a little afraid that the chief is not doing their job. You know, they're like, hey, where's the chief? Well, the chief's hiding underneath the fucking mushrooms, man. And that's why there's no action, because we need those energies, you know. And so I'm going to say that energy in that toilet token is karmic masculine energies. It's energies of the collective that are not jiving with the chief, you know. They're not listening to what the chief is fucking saying. And so they're kind of like the wolves in the forest right now, like that dock. There's too many wolves. They're eating all the buffalo, you know. Spirit, what we got to do here is the earth angels. So we got 5 of coins in the reverse. And the upright position, that would be crying over spilt milk, you know. And the reverse, you know, I say in the reverse, I always kind of look at that like it's this is the making a stand, you know, in the reverse. This is kind of like, okay, in the upright position, I sat there for a little while. We sat there for a minute or two. We've been sitting here for a while. We've been trying to regroup, you know, because like the shock and awe fucking program that they ran on God's chosen creatures, you know, those of us that live within divine union of nature, and it's been an onslaught, you know, because like even in the last fucking 200 years, I'm pretty sure, like for myself, I think it's been 3 or 4 different resurrection cycles, you know. And so I've resurrected here now probably 4 times in the last 150, 200 years. And my experiences have been very violent, very brutal, you know, because it's been very violent. It's been very brutal. It's been shock and awe, and it's been happening globally, you know, but it's happened here, especially, you know, on here on Earth, you know, and I mean, here on this continent here where I'm at, you know, the landmass where I'm existing currently, you know. And I may have even had 4 or 5, you know. I feel that I've had some really short transits, you know, like that stuff that happened, that died as a child and stuff, you know. And like, so like that period, you know, that's a short period of time. And for even one soul, like my own soul, to have to experience those experiences, you know, and to manifest too, because see, the thing is that in each of these cups that's here, you know, so that's the 5 cycles, right, that have been spilled, that have been kicked over or whatever, you know. And so maybe like there's 3 of the cycles of mine that was very, very violent, very fucking horrible, you know, that didn't end well, you know. And then these cycles here, these are the 2 that had some lessons in them that were positive for me, you know. I was able to gain a little bit of a foothold into my ascension, right? And so those two cups, that's me and Most High, and like that's me and Most High because those are the two that are always secured. And this individual in the cloak, that's the avatar me, And so that's the avatar me. That would be me right now, like because I'm only in my avatar right now. I'm not. I'm Abram, like in the physical, people call me Abram, but I'm Shesho Sheshna no Noehe, and I'm the highest. I'm the high empress of God Most High, I'm the high priestess, the by chosen one of Most High, and like that's my avatar, and so my avatar is looking down upon the cups that were spilt, and those are those transits here that I died young, or whatever. Like I wasn't successful, or I committed something that tipped that cup over, But those are those transits that have put us in that shock and awe where we're like, damn, man, a little bit of shell shock, And so the cups that are behind us is our stability. That's God, and that's you, That's God and you. That's your relationship with God. That's your two of cups. That's your two cups right there. That's this two cups, That's these two cups right here that protect your heart, and that is your stability, And so like in the reverse, see, in the reverse, that now, it's fight or die because the motherfuckers trying to turn them two cups upside down, You know what I'm saying? But we know better. And so even though we've been stuck in that upright position that God was carrying us, now we're in the reverse and we're sitting here going, hey, fucking wait a minute, man. Like something ain't right, Like this shit ain't right. Like I'm tired of losing the foothold, the gains that I'm making here as they kick my cups out. And then every time they kick a cup over, I'm getting further and further away from what it is that I'm trying to accomplish, which is my 10 of cups with God Most High, and to be a divine being, to be an empress again. The way that I'm seeing in the eyes of God Most High, to be known by Most High in my light, my true light, shining that light, right? And so now the avatar is getting ready to step up, And so like the avatar is sitting here going, hey, fucking wait a minute, I'm like on a mission, I'm on a mission, man. And the reason that these fucking cups over here are getting tipped over is because I'm not standing in my strength. I'm sitting here crying about fucking shit that I have the ability to change, And so I'm not God. I'm just the avatar. But I can change the whole world that's around me. And so that it no longer is getting in the way of me being in my most high and divine light, which is the examples that we need. That's the light that illuminates the backside of that mushroom, And so them toilet token motherfuckers ain't got no excuse to shit underneath that seat. You can't say they did it in the dark side. Nah, motherfucker, you did it right in the light of us. And we're not going to let that shit ruin our fucking transit. We're not going to let that shit get us into hot water, We're not going to kill you over it because that's going to fucking tip our cup over, We're not going to let you get mad because we say something about it and kill us over it because that's going to tip our cup over, And we're not going to fucking sit down on that shitty ass motherfucking seat after some other motherfucker goes in there because we know nobody's helping keep the restroom fucking clean, bitch, anymore because that third cup got tipped over too. And we fucking know that's the truth because we're listening to God and now we're listening to ourselves. We have our two of cups and we're going to protect our heart spaces over here and we're going to make the decisions that we need to make that bring us to stability so that we can stand as the light, and do you a favor. We're going to dig the fucking goddamn burdock roots out of your fucking garden, and we're going to teach you how to deconk that shit, and then we're going to teach you how to detoxify yourself, man, and that's what we're going to do here. And that's not passing judgment. That's saying, no, man, we're sick of standing around crying about it. We're God's fucking chosen. What am I going to let you fucking kill me fucking 20 times in the next fucking 150 years? Fuck you, I'm an eternal being. I don't need to keep coming back and doing this shit over and over and over and bearing the guilt of the individuals who are making the mistakes around me. I need to enlighten the fucking path for them so they quit stubbing their toes because that shit hurts me too. That's what that buffalo earth angel energy over there, man. We're not going extinct. They're not tipping over our cups no fucking more, man. We're going to throw them fucking cups straight fucking at them. Hit them in the fucking head with it. Tell them to wipe up their fucking ass. Is what we're going to do. We don't need the cups that they fucking kicked over for us. God has us a whole ocean full of fucking abundance, a whole ocean full of fucking blessings, a whole ocean full of fucking existence that is free of any motherfucker sitting on the toilet seat, You want fucking roll in God's fucking mighty toilet bowl, you gotta learn how to scrub that shit, or you ain't fucking allowed in that swimming pool, man. Fuck you. And that's the way it is. You don't fucking throw rocks to hide your hands in God's fucking house of glass, man. If you want to fucking throw fucking rocks at the individuals that are swimming in God's pool, the only fucking plunk that you're gonna hear is your shitty ass getting dumped in the toilet bowl before they flush. And amen. You know, judgment be upon those who don't listen to Most High, and judgment be all in the fucking hands of the divine. And blessed be those who listen to that fucking wisdom and keep their fucking shit clean and know how to wipe up after themselves and don't piss on the seat. You're gonna feel a real fucking fool if fucking Jack was Jesus. Now wouldn't you? Assholes. Or if Jack is an angel, you know? So fuck you motherfuckers, man. Seriously. Magician. And with that attitude, that's how we manifest. That's why we're the alchemists, man. You know, no matter what, that's why we're the alchemists, you know? And I don't know what Jack did, you know, to alchemize that fucking energy, but I'm sure he did something. And who am I to say, Jack, who am I to say if he didn't get another date with that guy? I'm pretty sure he said he didn't, but I don't know. We have to get back to y'all on that one. Shit. Nah, 7 of Cups, yeah. Nah, Jack was always playing the field, that guy. He like to play saxophone. He's a saxophone player, you know. You know them saxophone players, right? 10 Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. Yeah, there's a lot of wisdom here. It's being spoken here today. Spirit sharing it with us, you know. Keeping it real, man. I like it. I love it. Yeah, I love the fact. Yeah, the two homies I got out there that like to listen to my shit. I really appreciate it, man. You guys are cool, you know. That's awesome. It's fucking divine, you know. I guess we just gotta start sharing. I need to start sharing some of that shit you guys make too. Or the, you know, my one homie there, Dead Wolf. Yeah, Dead Wolf 13. I like the shit, bro. But we just gotta keep it real. It's authenticity is what makes us all fucking the light that God wants us to shine in this world, you know. And when we all start to recognize each other's authenticity as being like a more of a welcoming mat instead of just a mat to wipe our fucking boots off on, then maybe we'll all get somewhere in this world. We see each other in our divine lights, you know, because all of our divine lights are different, you know, but each and every one of them is just as important as the other one. And we need to show more reverence to that, because when we do, that shows reverence to the heart of God Most High and the point of their creation, you know, because they want to see the best in all of us. And so if we're an avatar for our higher selves and we're working closely with the Most High, if we don't see everything around us in the same light that we see ourselves in, then we're not doing our job properly. And that's what God's watching, you know. They got all of our 10 Pentacles, they're keeping it safe, you know, because they know that these motherfuckers over here in this toilet bowl energy are really, 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 they're the fucking bad ingredient, you know? Like, they're the ones that are causing the grief, you know? Like, in the whole fucking shittery. It's like they're the ones that are throwing the recipe off, you know? And they fucking do that. They throw it in rocks when nobody's looking, and then they hide their fucking hands. They come in there, and they pick the fucking strawberries off the vines, and then they trample them vines into the fucking ground and put them into everybody in this wounded warrior energy, that 9 of Wands, you know? And because they just plucked your fruit and just trampled you into the fucking ground, and then they didn't leave anything for anybody else. They're just breaking you off at the fucking stem, you know? God ain't down with that shit. It's that Magician card. And see, so the Magician card came out with the Three of Cups, but in the upright position, you know, and that says, that right there, like that Magician card, that is the, because it's coming out with that Wild Strawberry card, you know, and so they're taking this energy that you have, they're taking your divine essence, your divine worth, your divine value, like your purity, you know, the fruit that you bear, because you bear the most beautiful, the most tasty, the most luxurious, the most best smelling fucking fruit that's in the forest, you know, wild strawberry, man. It's fucking divine, you know, it's like a perfume, you know. But you don't even, It's like you're so humble, you know, that you don't even have thorns on your shit, you know, to protect that stuff. And so they fucking know that, and so they dupe you in, you know. It's like you're easily taken advantage of. You're easily putting that nine of wands energy where you feel like you're fucking defensive and reckless, like you can't, like you got everything put up against you. You got to defend your fucking shit, but you're all on your own. You don't got vines. It's all coming in at you, right? And then like that puts them in this magician energy where they get to manifest their abundance and their happiness and their fucking lust and all their bullshit. They get to sit here and feel these fucking 3 cups because they're not happy with the 2 cups that they have. Even in that 5 of cups energy, they think they need these 3 cups right here to fucking see that God's in their life. They can't stand there like you did and watch your 3 cups get kicked over and over, have to die and resurrect, have to be tortured as a fucking child, have to be fucking raped and murdered as a woman, have to fucking go through shit and past life experiences that are attached to you, that carry through you. They weren't able to stand in that fucking energy because they're the ones who are committing those sins against individuals like you, God's chosen. And they were trying to do that in order to keep you down. They're pawning their nastiness off on you, and then you just died young and everything. But you're so fucking powerful, you kept coming back because you're like, nah, every time that I take your trash on my shoulders and I carry it with me back to God Most High, they show me how to alchemize that shit into strengths, you know? And then, so your joy that you have in those cups, because you're a lustful bitch, you're a lustful fucking greedy pig, you're a horrible person, you know? And you need like money, you need sex, you need power, right? Right? Or you can't manifest nothing, you know? And you do that off the backs of the poor innocent wild strawberries out here that you're fucking treating like shit. You know? Your day's coming, man. And that's why these showbiz piece of shit motherfuckers, they're trying to hide their faces over there as that toilet token motherfucker because they're the ones shitting underneath the seat for all of us, you know? They're the ones who we need to let Jack whoop the shit out of. They're the fucking Queen of Wands in the reverse, you know? They trust their black magic more than they do the light of God. And they're stupid in that because it's obvious, you know? It's a very easy science experiment. It's easy speedy to prove. If you want to prove it, go in a dark room and fucking light a match. And you're going to see how much more powerful the light is than the darkness, you know? You can see how little light it takes to illuminate the vast space of darkness that lies within yourself. And that's why this Queen of Wands tries to dupe you so that you don't believe that that's the truth. You know, you're not listening to your heart space. You're not listening to your soul space. You're not listening to your 2 of Cups moment, your divine union with the God Most High, man. Because that's where the balance comes in. That's when it's your stability's there and you can make that decision. You're not juggling your coin. You're not caught on high water, you know. Your ships aren't going to and fro. They're coming right where they're supposed to be. And that's your ports, you know. They get delivered home in that fucking 3 of Wands energy. You know, you see that 3 of Wands energy instead of these greedy pigs getting their fucking lust out in that 3 of Cups energy because they don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. And we don't deserve to continually to be tempted by it because that's the thing is that they keep operating in this energy because honestly, we kind of like keep letting them, you know. Like everybody, for whatever reason, you know, everybody thinks that that the pizza's good and that's fine wine in those cups, you know. But you gotta understand that's just parlor tricks. They're playing games on you. That's a magician. That's not a high priest. That's not a high priestess. That's a fucking magician. That's some fucking cocksucker. That's some, I don't know, okay, try to watch my language on here, but sorry, YouTube. That individual right there is pulling rabbits out of their hat, man, trying to tell you it's fried chicken. Don't believe them. Don't eat their pizza. Don't eat their pizza, you know? Should I keep going or am I going to get myself in trouble here? I don't care. I don't give a fuck, man. I mean, I probably say fuck so many times anyways, I don't even know. It's probably half the reason why nobody gets to take a look at what I'm doing. I don't care. my spirits, they talk like pirates, man. They drug me through Jonah's belly and back, you know? So why wouldn't they? It's like, shit, you know? If the world don't like how it's delivered, then they ain't hearing it for what it is, you know? Some of the ugliest dishes I ever put on the table fucking were the best tasting thing I've ever put in my mouth. So, you just never know, man. You gotta trust God most time. You gotta listen, you know? Yeah, see right there at the top, man. You gotta trust God most time. You gotta listen. Yeah, and I'm working on it. You know, that's a little message to myself right there. So I gotta be a little more tender, maybe that's with my tongue. But just because you use vulgarity or fucking, talk like a pirate don't mean that you ain't got tenderness in your heart. You know, sometimes that shit comes out of me like that because that's that wolf that's protecting that sheep that I have inside of me, you know? And that's truth, right? and I trust that God is like guiding me in the right direction, so that what comes out of my mouth is exactly what's supposed to come out of my mouth, and it protects the words of God from the demonic entities out here and the evil ones that don't deserve to hear it. And so if they don't like how it sounds, then they ain't supposed to listen to that song. And that's not my problem, man. It's not your problem. It's not our problem. Keep speaking your word. They need to release whatever it is that's holding them back, that got them hiding in that fucking mushroom, not exposing their beauty to the world, because they're beautiful too. And that's why God has us out here as the earth angels trying to take action, because we have overcome this shit already, It's like in those moments when they were kicking our cups over, we were also stuck underneath that fucking mushroom because we didn't trust God, and so we had to have an early death, whatever, and we had to go back and we had to remind ourselves of the love of God, and then when we got strong enough again, the healing of God, we came back and we tried again, but then motherfuckers kicked our asses again, and it's like not because we're stupid, it's because we're learning, and that's what they forgot, because thing is with them is that they don't operate from a compassionate space or from a beautiful space. And so the things they do are always ugly and repetitive, and we don't believe that shit could be that ugly. It's taken us a lot of bruises to realize that like, wow, man, like that's not play. That's not a beautiful thing. That's not love or whatever. Like that's not loving to ourselves if we keep taking the bruises for them or whatever either. The bruise is a bruise, And like, we want to be beautiful. We don't want to be all fucking bruised up no more. We're out of that. We've released that that 9 of Wands. We're not wild strawberries anymore. But and we haven't lost our tenderness either, like we haven't, because our tenderness now lies with the our trust in God, because that is the fruit that we bear, and like that's the wild strawberry, that's that divine fruit that we have in the forest that smells better than anything else, and everybody wants it, but now we know how to protect it. We're learning how to protect it because we've released the things that have caused us harm in those 3 cups, those other past life experiences that we've had, that we've carried so heavily. We've released all of that energy now because we see that our strength has always been with us, and that's been in those 2 cups with that's your divine space with God Most High, where they love you most tenderly, They love you the same way that they love themselves, And they teach you that wisdom, and so then you love yourself the same way that they love you, So, give all praise to God Most High, guys. That's the only way we're gonna make it through anything these days, And share the word, share the word, not like even, share the shit on YouTube. That's great. That'd be great, Maybe we could all benefit from something like that. But like, more importantly, outside of that, speak the word, Like, say to people, hey, tell them your name and let them know that, like, I'm chosen. And like, they have to see it, And when enough of us do, we're so powerful that they can't argue with it. They have to stand there and they have to look at you and they have to see it, And then they go, damn, because when we do that, that's because we have secured our confidence and our love and our trust in the God Most High. We know damn good and well we don't have to die and go home to be reminded, and neither do they. They can see that in us now, and that's powerful, man. That's what we're fucking trying to do, And that's big shit. It's fucking big shit, if you're ever looking for a good job. So yeah, man. I hope that everybody's feeling well and everybody's strong and powerful and has abundance of love in their heart and around them, and strength in their heart space, and communication, first and foremost with divine, and then yourself, and then be capable, be willing, and be able to lovingly share that with everybody around you, in a way that that really brings reverence to the light of God Most High and how they work in your life, And when you share that is going to become more dominant. That's going to become a more dominant force in your life, and then you light up that whole forest so bright, that there's nowhere for anybody to hide, and everybody has to stand in their light, and they have to shine brightly too, And so we're powerful. We're bad motherfuckers, you know. Once we get rid of this toilet token, then those wild strawberries are ours, and we don't tend to our forest. You know, we're divine ones. We're not magicians. We don't have to seek fifth element. We don't have to go somewhere else. We don't have to fuel our machine. Our machine is fueled by the divine, and we have a direct connection to that. You know, it's like our fuel line goes to a tank that never gets emptied. You know, and that's God Most High, and that's what we're trying to teach them so that they can quit draining us. You know, and so I love y'all, man. The beast is gonna fall. You know, the beast is easy to slay. It's just like the fucking bucket bronco. You get on back that motherfucker and ride hard, man. You got a sharp knife, you can take it down, you know. It don't matter. Bigger they are, the harder they fall, you know. King David killed the giant, you know, and it's we're in no different times right now than they were in then, you know. And so don't believe what they tell you. Write your own story and listen to God. Fuck, I love y'all, man. We'll keep you safe, keep you protected, and say prayers.